our minds and all our hearts. From the rising to the setting of the sun, we shall honour the gods. Hail the Asir, hail the One Ear, hail our forebears, hail our patron Thunor, mighty Worm Slayer. I call on thee, Thunor, please hallow and make sacred this libation. Thunor Weo, Thunor Weo, Thunor Weo. Hello, welcome to my Sigurd blot. Happy St George's Day. Even though as heathens we celebrate Sigurd or Siegfried or Sigurd as known in Anglo-Saxon, the dragon slayer or worm slayer, and even though as Anglo-Saxons we fly the white worm flag, the Christian cross of St George is still our flag of our country, so it's just as good to honour St George and the flag of our country. So, Sigurd's story is first attested on a series of carvings, including rune stones from Sweden and stone crosses from both the British Isles and Sweden, dating from the 11th century in both the Norse and the continental German Siegfried, portrayed as dying as a result of a quarrel between his wife Gudrun and another woman, Brunhilda, when she was tricked into marrying the Burgundian king Gunther. His slaying of a dragon and possession of the hoard Nibelungen is common to both traditions. The most important works to feature Sigurd are the Nibelungen Lied and the Volsung Saga, telling the destruction of the Burgundians based on the epic poetry of the Elder Edda, which echoes real events in Central Europe during the migration period, chiefly the destruction of the kingdom of the Burgundians by the Huns in the 5th century. Sigurd is a legendary hero of Germanic heathenism who killed the dragon and was later murdered. It is possible he was inspired by one or more figures from the Frankish Merovingian dynasty, with Sigebert I being the most popular contender. Other scholars connect him with Arminius, victor of the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest against the Romans, and Thidrek Saga finishes the tale of Sigurd. Everyone said that no man, now living or ever after, would never be equal to him in strength, courage and in all sorts of courtesy, as well as in boldness and generosity, that he had above all in men, and that his name would never perish. Hail Sigurd, Worm Slayer! And now I turn my attention to Arwald Kuning. The following statement is in praise of the great king, was composed by our fellowship Anglo and Elde Blotier Leofred Engwing for sale. Arwald Kuning, the last recorded heathen king of the English, and our worthy Frecker, Arwald the last Van Sidar king in England, ruled in the Isle of Wight. He did, and his folk were English Jutes. They held to the Van Sidar, which is the old ways, and so became foes of the Christian kings in much of England. Mercia had under King Wulfhere invaded the island in 661. Mercia attempted to force the islanders to embrace Christianity, but as soon as the occupation force left, the islanders went back to Vrensidar. The inhabitants of the Isle of Wight therefore became apostates in the eye of the church. King Cadwalla of Wessex sought to extinguish this remaining heathen kingdom. He wished to replace the inhabitants and crown himself king and divide the land with himself and his own followers, promising a quarter of the profits to the church. It is recorded that King Arwald was slain in the battle in April 686 against the King of Wessex. Two of King Arwald's brothers fled the island in the New Forest but were betrayed to Cadwalla. Cadwallader, after much torture, told the two princes of the Isle of Wight that they would be saved if they converted to Christianity and publicly renounced the old gods. In the end, both Athelings supposedly renounced the old gods, but were put to death anyway. The consensus is that the folk of the Isle of Wight largely lived rather than having been eradicated like their Athelings. Historians have suggested that Arwald was captured rather than killed, but refused to convert to Christianity, as his brothers did. It is suspected that is why Bede, in his two books, talk about the brothers being saved and going to heaven, and fails to mention Arwald's beard. Bede didn't want to remind people of Arwald's heroism. Ironically, because of the two princes converted to Christianity, they were named saints, though they used their brother's name St. Arwald's Day. It's on April 22nd, which is yesterday. That's why we worship him today. Arwald also had an unnamed sister who survived and was forced to marry the King of Kent, becoming an ancestor to Alfred the Great. The Vansittart Jutes on the island lived in clearings surrounded by forest and small hamlets of several families in thatched and wooden tiled homes. They wove their own clothing and made everyday items from wood, clay and iron, and crafted sophisticated and beautiful jewellery. Arwald, as a Jute, would have seen his kinship as descended from our god Lord Ingwi, and no doubt as well thought himself related to Hengist, who with his brother Horsa are our founding fathers. Arwald Cunning is our ninth worthy Frecker and is rightfully held for his bravery and strength in spite of the hatefulness and degeneracy of the Church. We honour him and remember him as the exemplary example of English heathendom that he was. Hail Arwald Cunning! Hail Anglo Vansittart! That concludes Sigurd Blot. Have a wonderful St George's Day and keep safe and stay well. Drink ale!